Welcome to Fantasy Breakouts. I'm Pat, that's Eric, and that's Mr. Joshua. Okay, stick around because we're all going to give you, or each of us going to give you our two winners and losers from the wide receiver position after the free agents. So let's get right into it. First of all, Eric, who is your number one winner from the wide receiver position as of today?
Yeah, as of today, it's two guys we were loving in the middle of the last season for sure. We were constantly bringing them up. These two, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. With AJ Green out of the picture completely, he was pretty inefficient last year. It was good to see him back out there at least, but now we have T. Higgins and Boyd get showered by targets by Joe Burrow once he's back healthy. They don't have a major tight end threat at all to take any of that work either. So we could be seeing Higgins and Boyd go from that wide receiver 2 and 3 to solid 2s. One of them, maybe Higgins could be a back end 1. Don't want to sound crazy, but hey, it's possible, right? With some of that work. So I love that. I loved AJ Green leaving. So, but Josh, do you have anything on the Bengals, or what do you have for your winner, your big winner?
Yes, with AJ Green leaving, I think Higgins and Boyd was going to step up tremendously as far as, more receptions and getting more looks and more targets. That's definitely a major because the last season I felt like they tried to, force AJ Green the ball to keep him happy type of thing instead of letting the young bulls, make a name for themselves, which they did, but they could have, fed them more. But yeah, I like the winner out of that. But I will piggyback off you, Eric, and I will go with winner the Cardinals signing AJ Green. DeAndre Hopkins is, of course, number one receiver with the Cardinals, and Kyler Murray was just like force feeding him 24/7. So with AJ Green being on the opposite side of DeAndre Hopkins and actually being a legit number two receiver, I think that they can have some real issues in that division and make some noise. 6 seasons out of AJ Green's 9 seasons, he's received for over 1,000 yards. So I feel like he can kind of, transform back into that old self. They don't even really need 1,000 yards from him. If he can get them anywhere from 600 to 800 yards, with about 8 touchdowns, that's good enough. They just need somebody for Kyler Murray to feed, other than DeAndre Hopkins. So I'll say AJ Green with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I like that. Like even if he's not 100% him, like we know how these old coaches are. Like, oh, that's a name recognition. They're gonna focus on him at least the first handful of weeks, month or something, and he's gonna get a lot of attention that Hopkins doesn't need. Pat, who do you have as your number one receiver or tight end winner for free agency?
My number one receiver is Corey Davis. I think some people are skeptical about it, but let's be honest. If they do draft a quarterback, or if they don't, Corey Davis he's in the driver's seat, man. That's their guy. They paid him. He's gonna get his targets. And I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Sam another chance. I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a quarterback either. But regardless, he's gonna get the opportunity. Fantasy football, you want opportunities. My second one has to be AJ Brown. It's kind of weird I'm going off that, but Corey Davis is not there anymore. AJ Brown, I think they're going to overwhelmingly feed that guy. He's talking about if he had these targets and all that kind of stuff, he's going to get the targets. So, put up or shut up.
Yeah, I like that, Pat. I mean, and AJ Brown has like nobody to compete with. They just got rid of the tight end. They just got rid of Adam Humphries, even though, what is Adam Humphries?
But will that be too much for him, though? When JuJu got the chance to step up as number one receiver, he didn't perform like he, thought. So, would that be, too big of a burden for him?
I just say opportunities. Opportunities is king. It is what it is. You want opportunities. And AJ Brown, I don't know how, like last year, Corey Davis obviously was somebody you had to look at, but that man doesn't need much. Let's put it like that. Younger, he's big dude. Drop offs. They're gonna find a way to give him the ball. Period.
He had many games where like 5 catches, 120 yards, touchdown. I mean, it wasn't like the Randy Moss 3 for 183 and 3 touchdowns or anything like that, by no means. But this guy, yeah, maybe he will be a Hall of Famer one day, man. I'm not afraid to say that.
Who's your second winner, Joshua?
All right, so my second winner, I'm going to have to go with Emmannuel Sanders signing with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills has just lost John Brown, So that was a major pickup, stepping in. Emmanuel Sanders can play the slot or he can play the outside. Every year in fantasy, he puts up decent numbers. He's never a guy that don't want to have on your roster. He's definitely a great bench player to have for fantasy. And I just think him on the other side of Stephon Diggs could be great impact, because Stephon Diggs will definitely be double teamed this season after the breakout year he had with Josh Allen. So I feel like Emmanuel Sanders can step in and be that number two receiver to help Diggs and Josh Allen make that next step into the playoffs.
Yeah, like Gabriel Davis, it was pretty decent too from them, but we'll see. My other one, my big winner receivers, I was looking around and I didn't really love any of the major ones, and just kind of one that's so obvious. What is it? What's the phrase, Josh? It's
So simple is complicated.
so simple it's complicated. Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, they just put another one of the best linemen of the last 5 to 7 years, Joe Thuney, on the Chiefs. They got back Mike Remmers, and then they got I don't know. They just bolstered that offensive line so much that Mahomes is going to be protected. Forget the Super Bowl. I mean, I think I'm saying this. Just forget the Super Bowl. He's not going to be running for his life. This guy wants to be a Hall of Famer. He wants to be the best quarterback ever at the detriment of the running game, which we've talked about. But he is trying to be the all-time greatest. He wants to have 6,000 yards now that we added one game to the regular season. He wants to go and do that. So I want that passing game this year. I'm not backing down because Kelsey's a little older, Tyreek Hill's a little older. I mean, those guys are still going to put up some production. Pat, did you have anything else otherwise? Or we'll move on to losers, actually.
Not really, man. We all got valid points. Let's be honest, man. The first 4 weeks is kind of the feeler. And
Yeah.
about 5, 6, 7, then you start seeing chips really really start to show their true colors, so to speak.
Yeah,
As far as
because
the
people were doubting
game.
Diggs last year. Remember when he switched teams? And look at that.
Yeah, oh man, look at that. Who was it, 5th, 6th round, maybe 7th in some drafts, and
Yeah.
yeah. So let's move on to the losers. Okay, we're gonna give our top 2 losers from the wide receiver bunch. I guess I'll start off. My first one is Gabriel Davis. Like you talked about, like Josh talked about as well, and Emmanuel Sanders coming over. I thought with John Smokey Brown departing that he was gonna have this is his time to step up, and they put Emmanuel Sanders. And not to say that Emmanuel Sanders is gonna be a target hog. It's just it's another piece, and he's more reliable. Obviously, he's established, right? And like you said, they really rely on those old guys. Not to say he's old; he got plenty of yards, but it's going to take away from him compared to Stephon Diggs. He's still going to have a solid year, but it's not going to be the year that we thought he's going to make that leap, quote unquote. Um, Eric, what is your first loser?
My big loser is one that I feel like I'm retreating back from because so the Jaguars, they just went out and signed everybody you see on the waiver wire that you don't know if you want to pick up or not. Last year, they just signed them all. They just added Marvin Jones, Philip Dorsett, Jamal Agnew. He's the punt guy, I think, punt returner though.
Hey! Marvin Jones brought this brother a championship, 1.3.
Oh yeah, we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, until Kenny Galladay got hurt, right? Before that,
Sorry.
Marvin Jones was living on the waiver wire. Yeah, don't bring that shit up. But but yeah, they lost Keenan Cole, they lost Chris Conley, but with the guys they added, Marvin Jones, Jamal Agnew, and Philip Dorsett, like I said, it muddies the waters for DJ Chark and Chenault. And then Colin Johnson is a freak too. He had a couple big games. That guy did who is this guy type, knee jerk reaction, like 2 or 3 for 100 and a touchdown. He had a couple of those types of games. He's not somebody to sleep on. So now we don't know. I mean, I think like Pat said, it's going to be maybe a 2 to 3 first month of the season before we know who the receivers are going to be now. So I don't like it, but hopefully at least Trevor Lawrence makes that a fantasy viable offense at least, right?
They're making major moves this offseason just in free agency, so I'll be surprised if they make any bigger impact in the draft besides, of course, Trevor Lawrence. But I like what they're doing, man. They got the new coach, Urban Meyer. It feels like he's coming in running. Like he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to do. So let's see if it works out for him.
And Josh, who do you have for your loser?
Well, I don't like this guy at all by the name of JuJu Smith-Schuster. Mr. Dance, 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 Dance. This past year, 2020 season, he had 97 receptions for only 830 yards. 9 touchdowns was pretty good, but to have almost 100 receptions and not even crack 1,000 yards, it's like, bruh, come on. Of course, he had great receivers with him, Claypool, Johnson, but it was surprising to me that he re-signed with Pittsburgh. Being that he had multiple offers elsewhere with more money. But I think he's on like a redeem year. But the way he looked last year, I don't see anything promising happening. He has to cut off the antics and just play football. So I feel like the biggest loser was JuJu Smith losing money, not getting 1,000 yards last year, and then going back to the same team and not making major impact. So we'll see what he's going to do when he gets there. And then for my second loser, I'm going to go with Sammy Watkins, man. You're going from the Kansas City Chiefs, who has a great passing system, a great system in general, and now you're going to Baltimore, which I hate to down talk my man because I love Lamar Jackson, but he's not the most pass-friendly person, and if he is, he's going to the tight ends majority of the time. So I feel like Sammy Watkins is a big loss in that one, but I feel like they can kind of use him in different, special team style or, jet sweep stuff like that. But as far as a receiver, going to be tough sledding for him and the rest of those receivers. So biggest loser, Sammy Watkins. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I liked Kelsey and Hill more than I think maybe people are right now because we're losing a lot of targets.
Yeah.
All right, Pat. So who do you have for your final loser, sir?
Second one is Christian Kirk. Like he said with AJ Green signing, it's once again, dent those targets and whatnot. He's much more reliable. He's gonna be a deep threat. He's gonna have a couple long balls here and there. But as far as from a fantasy perspective, he's a dart throw in your flex. He's not gonna be anything reliable. This is one of them things like, oh, everybody got hurt. This guy was questionable on Thursday, but they play on Monday. I'm going to pick up Christian Kirk. That's what kind of move it's going to be.
Right.
I already see this happening, So Christian Kirk, to me, I don't know if they don't trust him. There's a lot of variables. Who knows? Maybe he's late to practice all the time. But with AJ Green's arrival, you're definitely taking a back seat. So that's my second loser. What is your second loser, Eric?
Yeah, I don't mean to beat a dead horse or make the April Fool's jokes were out today and everything, but I think Allen Robinson, man, I think we had some hopes of him and Russell Wilson teaming up on some nifty touchdowns, didn't we, Pat? But I think he's a loser. I mean, I don't know what that offense is going to look like. There's going to be, like Josh said, the Detroit. Josh is big on Detroit. I think they might finish ahead of the Bears. Let us know in the comments if you agree.
Listen. And first of all, we ain't talking about that. We talking about wide receivers. Okay?
We are.
Second,
right. Fantasy-wise, I'm going to back it up. Fantasy-wise.
He's the leader in the most contested catches in the past 3 years, something like that. He don't need a good ball. He just needs a ball. Pause.
Well, it'll be many of contested passes.
Extra.
Yeah, he's just going to keep making his bread. Now, I'm mad that they didn't pay him. Yeah, but I mean, that's your opinion, man. I think it's a little biased because you're a Vikings fan, but who knows? All right, so yeah, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, be sure to check out our videos and whatnot. And let us know. We're gonna come out with a tight end video as well. But if you guys have any special ones you want us to go ahead and address, go ahead and let us know in the comments. All right. As always, like and subscribe. Other than that, stay safe. Peace.